I don't know, I was always fascinated by drums and what you can do with drums and music in general. I'm interested in technique, I love technical stuff, but end of the day you're playing music, and technique is basically the language you are able to use. But it's not all about that. It's about feel, it's about having fun, and it's not, you shouldn't take it too serious, because at the end of the day it's just music. As soon as I start, something happens and there's some energy, and I don't know really where it comes from, but it's there. I always wanted to be a drummer, I just didn't know what kind of drummer I was going to be. And I think I'm really happy about the way everything turned out. So actually I always wanted to be a drummer, and here I am, Never stopped playing, really. I started playing drums when I was 4.5 years old, and I just enjoyed playing, and I just didn't stop really. Energy is that part that spreads to whoever is listening to it, and also the people you play with. Sometimes you feel like, okay, I really have to, take it down a notch, which is what we sometimes do before the show, especially Dave and me. Like, okay, you know what? Let's take it easy, and it will be good. But as soon as we're up there, boom, something happens, and we're back to 100%. You just can't help it.
Christian is a special player, and he's my boss, but he's also my friend, and I think together we make a very good team. I've been with Christian now for 17 years. This is my 5th or 6th tour on Depeche Mode, and basically every 4 years we get together, we have a new kit, we talk about the design, how we're going to lay it out. It's a new kit for a Depeche tour. The special thing about it is really single-headed toms, a 26-inch kick drum, 26 by 14. Christian was insistent that this was going to be the one he wanted, and I have to say, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Up until this tour, he wanted everything to be acoustic, and therefore there were no triggers. But what he did was he processed some of the original acoustic sounds. This time we're still using a bit of that, but we also have a Yamaha Dd Ce8886666, which the response time on is absolutely fantastic.
When I started with Depeche Mode, I didn't really know how big it was. I just realized when we played the first shows, then I thought, okay, this is big. We just move on. We move to the next country, same amount of people again and again. And since I started 20 years ago till now, it still seems to get bigger. We're playing the stadium tour right now, and it's quite amazing. It's a good experience. When you play stadiums, you gotta be a bit careful about what you play. You shouldn't. Some things just don't work in stadiums because it's way too big. So to keep it simple is basically a great thing to do when you play a stadium. The difference to other bands here is that, we don't have a bass player, which means the basses are sequenced basses. So throughout the whole show, I have to play to a click track. And I've got all of the sequences, basses, and everything else that is played on stage in my ears. I really need to get the right balance between all of that, just to be able to sit where I want to be. You know what I mean? If you move backwards, you can move forward, you can move around the click track a bit. Basically, the sequence basses are doing the same thing every night, so I've got a bit more freedom to move forward, backward, and I can make things move in a different way. It's micro timing, but you change things around by moving. When I started playing with Depeche, I tried to replace the drum machines. Now I'm sort of like playing around it all. When I started playing with this band, I tried to play as tight as I could. And now I don't really care about that anymore. I just wanted to feel right. I use a click track for every single song in the show. To play really well to a click track, which is something I've started when I was really young. So I don't even think about it anymore. So that's number one. You need a lot of energy, I think, to just create different dynamic situations on stage. That's an important thing, and being consistent is a really important thing too. Because we play so many shows, and if you had a good show 2 days ago, it doesn't really matter because tonight matters. So you gotta do it all over again. The setup I play now with the using concert toms, I had the idea when I listened to lots of old albums and old records that I really liked, and suddenly I realized that I would say nearly all of it was played on concert toms. I would say most famous drum fills in the world have been played on concert toms. So I thought it would be really interesting to just try concert toms. I don't use many triggers, I just use a few on a few songs where we want to get the original let's say the original snare sample on top of my snare. So in that case it would be like 60% my acoustic snare, 40% original snare, which we only use in a few songs anyway. So I think the more important is like the different tuned bass drum I use, which is actually on this tour a floor tom, and we send that just through distortion sometimes. So I'm able to play some beats using two different tuned bass drums, which is a nice thing to do. I usually prepare for a show, sometimes enjoying how quiet it is backstage, and just get to the show, eat something like 3 hours before the show, not too late before. Then I just hang out and chill out here. And after chilling out, I just start to warm up a bit, depending on the weather. If it's cold, I warm up now more. Or if we had an extra day off, I would probably warm up a little bit more. But that's it, just get ready for the show and go up. But basically, just chill out. That's what I do. I just believe in good music and creating moods. That's what music is about. You're just creating something, and that's what I'm trying to do now. And I think it works much better than it did in the old days. I started playing this setup, or kind of setup, maybe 2 years ago, and just defined it a little bit for what I needed for this tour. But what I need here, what I've got on stage now, isn't really different to what I usually use. So I wanted to just go back to what I call a simple jazz kit. The basic kit is actually not as big as you think it is. I'm just using the remote bass drum on the other side, which is great. A second snare drum, because I need that's something I need for Depeche, especially because it's what I call the 80s snare. Just tuned down, short, and it sounds like a drum machine snare. I don't remember a time when I didn't play drums. So I'll never stop, I guess. Why should I? There's nothing more important than groove. And what is it? Well, you know what? The good thing is you're not really able to explain it, are you? When it feels right, that's what it is. And I think some of the best things in life you can't explain. So groove is definitely one of the best things.